Richard Childress just did something that almost no one expected to see again. At 80 years old, the NASCAR Hall of Fame team owner climbed back behind the wheel at the very same track where he last raced nearly 6 decades ago. And what started as a simple invitation from Cletus McFarland quickly turned into one of the biggest surprises NASCAR fans have seen all year. Most people expected Richard Childress to be standing on pit road, not driving the iconic number 3 car. But once the green flag waved at Stafford Speedway, he reminded everyone that the passion for racing never truly fades. The biggest surprise wasn't simply that he returned. It was how the entire night unfolded, from emotional memories of his earliest racing days to a dramatic spin into the wall that nearly ended his comeback before he fought his way to the checkered flag. So why did Richard Childress decide to race again after 57 years? How did Cletus McFarland convince him to come back? And what really happened once the green flag dropped at Stafford Speedway? Keep watching, because this story is much bigger than just one exhibition race. Before we get started, if you enjoy NASCAR stories that go beyond the headlines, make sure to subscribe to NASCAR Nation News and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest updates. For decades, Richard Childress has been known as one of the greatest team owners in NASCAR history. His Richard Childress Racing organization has won championships, produced legendary drivers, and helped shape the modern era of the sport. Because of that, most younger fans know him as the owner standing on pit road rather than the driver who once competed every weekend. But before all the trophies and championships, Richard Childress was simply a racer trying to survive. On Friday night, that racer returned. The event was held at Stafford Speedway, a place that carries special meaning for Childress. The last time he competed there was back in 1969. Think about that for a moment. 57 years had passed before he climbed into another race car at the same track, instead of talking about lap times or finishing positions from that first visit. Childress remembered something much more personal. He said, "We didn't have much money at all. We had an old '54 Ford truck that we hauled the race car with. We got up here and had a lot of fun. We didn't really have any idea what we were doing." Many fans forget that Childress wasn't always a team owner. Between 1969 and 1981, he made 285 NASCAR Cup Series starts and earned 76 top 10 finishes. Even though he never reached victory lane as a driver, his determination earned respect throughout the garage. Then came the decision that changed NASCAR forever. In 1981, Richard Childress stepped out of the driver's seat and handed the famous number 3 car to Dale Earnhardt. That decision helped begin one of the most successful partnerships in NASCAR history. After stepping away from full-time competition, Childress rarely raced again. His last competitive appearance came decades ago in a Winston Legends exhibition during the mid-1990s. So what changed? The answer was Garrett Mitchell, better known to millions of fans as Cletus McFarland. Earlier this year, Cletus McFarland signed a developmental deal with Richard Childress Racing, making this invitation even more special. When Cletus was preparing for the New England 900 at Stafford Speedway, he had an idea. Instead of simply competing himself, he wanted Richard Childress to join him. According to Childress, the invitation didn't require much convincing. He explained, "I talked to Cletus, and when he asked me to do it, I said, 'Yeah, I'll go.' I thought it'd just be fun." The New England 900 is an exhibition race featuring identical nitrous-powered Ford Crown Victorias, bringing together NASCAR drivers, drifting stars, and automotive creators. Ryan Preece, Dillon, and Vaughn Gittin Jr. were all part of the field, while every grandstand seat was sold out. The lineup itself showed just how unique the event was. Ryan Preece was there. Dillon was in the field. Drifting legend Vaughn Gittin Jr. joined the action. And with every grandstand seat sold out, Fans were about to witness something they never expected. As the engines fired and the field rolled onto the track, there was one driver almost everyone was watching. But because simply seeing Richard Childress back behind the wheel at 80 years old felt like watching a piece of NASCAR history come back to life. The green flag waved, and Childress settled into the race without trying to force the issue. He knew this wasn't about making reckless moves or proving he could outrun drivers decades younger than him. His goal was simple: stay in the race, enjoy every lap, and finish what he started. Childress settled into the race, staying out of trouble through the opening laps before the biggest challenge of his comeback arrived. But motorsports have a way of reminding every driver that experience alone doesn't guarantee a smooth night. On lap 62, Childress found himself in trouble entering turn 2. The car broke loose, sending him into a spin before making contact with the outside wall. The caution flag immediately came out as fans held their breath to see if his race was over. Fortunately, the damage wasn't enough to end his night. After the cleanup was complete, Childress brought the number 3 back onto the track and continued racing. Instead of loading the car onto the trailer after the accident, he stayed in the race. He finished all 90 laps. And when the checkered flag finally waved, Richard Childress crossed the line in 10th place. While Childress was writing one of the night's feel-good stories, the battle at the front of the field was turning into complete chaos. Cletus McFarland had worked his way into contention and was fighting Ryan Preece for the lead when everything changed. The two drivers made contact, and Cletus's race came to an abrupt end in a crash that immediately brought out another caution. Even after the incident, the intensity between the two wasn't completely over. During the caution laps, the back and forth continued, and Ryan Preece ended up with a flat tire before the race returned to green. Ryan Preece eventually recovered to finish second, but he couldn't resist having a little fun after the race. Posting on X, Preece joked, "Cleet and I had quite the on-track battle. I was ready to tell RC to hold my watch." But because he reminded everyone what racing has always been about. Instead, he remembered arriving with an old 1954 Ford truck, barely enough money to keep going, and a team that, in his own words, didn't really have any idea what we were doing. If you enjoyed this story, let us know in the comments. Would you like to see Richard Childress race again, or was this the perfect one-time comeback? If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe to NASCAR Nation News, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest NASCAR news, updates, and unforgettable stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.